I don't think MMCrypto understands technical analysis. Here's what I mean.
Overall, what you are looking at here is an ascending triangle. Yes, an ascending triangle is technically something bullish, breaking to the upside more often than breaking to the downside. Also, we are forming it among the top.
Okay, see, that's the thing. He's saying ascending triangle is bullish, but he does save himself on this because he does say the correct answer. But it's amazing how he doesn't call this for what it is. Bro, it's basically a bear flag. Might as well just call it out the way it is. That's what it is.
However, this is forming in a downwards movement.
There it is.
So, whereas usually this is like a 2/3, 70% to 30% break up probability, here I would rather lean towards 50-50. So the best course of action.
50-50. Not sure about that, bro. Why? Bro, it's a bear flag. Usually if it's this sort of consolidation after a huge move downwards, there's more probability of it going down rather than breaking back up. But then again, this is Bitcoin. Bitcoin does whatever the fuck it wants. So it could actually break up. You never know, because we didn't really have the euphoric run in crypto. But the funny thing is, crypto isn't getting the euphoric run this time. Instead, is actually stocks. And the thing I want to really emphasize and warn you regarding the Bitcoin price action right now is we still have the weekly topping tail right here. This kind of looks like it, but not really. But here you definitely had it. And not only that, you had a monthly topping tail in August. And if we close down the near range lows again by the end of October, which is basically tomorrow, we're going to get another topping tail for October. Pay attention to this price action. This is not good. The last time we actually had a topping tail like this on a monthly candle, we still went down. Even if you don't go down to April's liberation lows, if you even go down to the February lows, it still went down 28%. So we can still possibly go down if we mimic the same move, maybe back down to about 90,000. But the problem with that is the weekly 50 moving average, which is around 102, 103. I think it's like 102, 800. I can't see. Okay, yeah, right. 102 and 800. If we get a weekly close below that, then I actually do firmly believe, just like how Ben Cohen said, especially if you have more than, one weekly. So at least if you get 2 weekly closes below the 50 weekly moving average, most likely that's a signal that the top is in for crypto. That's the thing. And like I said from before, the euphoria, we're not really seeing it in crypto. No, we're seeing it more in stocks this time, not crypto. Why? Look, first of all, NVIDIA is basically like crypto or Bitcoin, but in the stock market, right? Which rallied from liberation lows all the way to freaking 140%. And it's now a $5 trillion company. But what I mean is, think about it. You're getting these kind of rallies on semi-stocks and pretty much every single stock out there at this point, right? But you're also getting these ridiculous rallies on smaller cap stocks. QBTS, from its September lows, it went up, 200%. So a 2x run from its September lows, not liberation, September lows. Hell, if you want to go liberation, dude, shit, this thing went up, where is it? Roughly 640% QBTS. Okay. And Oklo from its September low went up 175%. Fan-fucking-tastic. I am also short this piece of shit. And RGTI had this euphoric rally from September lows all the way up to 280%. And even SanDisk, dude, SanDisk, what? From September lows went up, over 100%. And not only that, this company actually had a secondary offering in June, which I believe the average was like $48 or something. So it's around here. From that point on, it's over 300% gain, dude. So you're seeing this euphoric rally, but not in crypto, but in stocks. And the fact that retail participation in stocks is at all-time highs in its history of its existence of stocks. Margin debt is over $1 trillion for the second month in a row, by the way, and actually ticked up from August highs. You know what they say? When retail hears about it and jumps in, that's the end. We're retail right now. At least not me though. I'm not jumping in. I'm actually short the market. I'm just gonna be completely transparent here. But if you're seeing this kind of rally in the stock market and not in crypto, and the SPY is basically only 1% from the highs, I really have a hard time seeing Bitcoin making a new all-time high. Maybe it can, I don't know, but technically it already did back in, actually, yeah, we already did in October. Can't type right now. Yeah, we already made a top in October. So maybe the Q4 high is already in, but you never know. All I'm saying is this, for me, is an ascending triangle, but it's more of a bear flag, dude, from this downward move, which he did mention. So he did kind of save himself. But let's call it what it is, man. This is a bear flag. There's a higher likelihood of it breaking down rather than breaking back up. And if we get more than if we get 2 or more weekly closes below the 50 weekly moving average, which was around 102,800 or around 103, if we get 2 weekly closes below that, this might be the top. So I'm just saying, be careful. Everything is getting very euphoric, but in the stock market, not in crypto, as far as how high crypto can go, if it can get out of this bearish price action and at least have a weekly close above this weekly topping tail, then maybe, yes, you can go higher. But until that happens, I am not going to be bullish crypto. No. The price action lately is very bearish. And the fact that it's starting to break down from this bigger bear flag, not good. And like I said again, if we get 2 weekly closes or more of below the 50 weekly moving average, be careful. And if you made a shit ton of money in the stock market, it's not a bad idea, in my opinion, to take some money off the table at the very least. Not financial advice. Be careful out there. Stay safe, everyone. I'll see you guys in the next one.